Hello, this is Dylan Brown with Rangers to the Core, and we are here to present your weekly Ranger Minute.
Alrighty. This week from John H. Carr, it's me, Ranger Emily. Thank you all for listening this week for our weekly Ranger Minutes. And I am very excited because I actually have a special guest today. Ranger Cross is here with me. You want to say hi?
Hi. How are y'all?
So we are, for this week's Ranger Minute from John H. Carr Dam and Reservoir, we are actually going to talk a little bit about Recreation.gov just for a couple minutes because at John H. Carr, we have quite a few campgrounds. We have 4 that we, as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, manage directly, right? And how many campsites is that almost total?
Here at John H. Carr, it's almost right at 430 campsites within the 4 campgrounds.
Yes, a lot of campsites. And so we have a lot of camping. We have picnic shelters that you can reserve online. We do a lot of work with visitors like you coming to our parks through our reservation system, Recreation.gov. So I want to have Ranger Cross on. We thank her to talk about that for a few minutes. So Ranger Cross, if you had to tell everybody, our listeners, one thing that they need to know about Recreation.gov before they actually come to John H. Carr Dam and Reservoir, what kind of advice would you give them?
So I got a couple of things, but the biggest thing is making sure, so at John H. Carr, we really require, rely, whatever you want to say, encourage people to make reservations in advance. We're a busy lake project. We have lots of campsites, a lot going on, and we really need for those reservations to be made in advance. It really helps us out in the long run. It helps you out in the long run because you don't have to wait in a long line of all that kind of stuff. And a couple other things about Recreation.gov in particular more is if you haven't made a reservation, I highly suggest making a reservation, obviously making a Recreation.gov account, but downloading the Recreation.gov app.
Yeah.
The app is way more user-friendly than the website is. So I really suggest if you don't have the app to go ahead and get it, download it. Yeah. And get together, make your reservations. It's just way more user-friendly.
And you can see everything on your phone once you're here. I go camping and stuff too, and I use Recreation.gov when I'm anytime I'm at a federal park camping on the app on my phone. It's super easy. You can make, changes to your reservation beforehand on your phone.
You can see availability of what sites are available.
That's right. It's like so much better on the app on your phone than online trying to use the system. So yeah, much easier. So, but we do allow walk-ins still, though, right? Yeah. We do allow walk-in campsite reservations and reservations for different things so that you can still come up to the window.
Yeah, if you're not, obviously if you don't have a smartphone or if you're, that kind of situation, you can obviously call. The Recreation.gov has a help desk line that you can call and reserve. But if you don't have a smartphone and you're just like, hey, stopping by, I'm just driving through the area, are there any sites available? You can definitely walk up to the window and reserve one. Okay. Yeah.
And the help desk line. That's really good too. Can be a long wait though.
Yeah. So that's why
can be a long wait if you're not, because Recreation.gov, they're busy and they're providing
for all
reservation system for all federal parks. So they are busy. So you might have a bit of a wait if you call them.
Yeah.
Now, I think one thing we've encountered this summer at John H. Carr that's been a bit trickier is when one person makes multiple campsite reservations, right? They make multiple campsite reservations, but we want to have the primary site occupants' contact information. And that's for safety, that's for enforcing rules and regulations, that's for a lot of different reasons. Yep. So if, say I, Ranger Emily, go and book a few campsites for me and my friends and all that kind of stuff, and all those reservations are in my name, what do I need to do to ensure that when I get up to the window to check in with our gate attendants here at John H. Carr that I'm going to be able to get all that sorted out? Because I can actually only be on one campsite.
Yes.
So
correct. So if Ranger Emily ends up getting lots of reservations, she's booking some for her friends, her family, whatever, we really want to make sure the primary occupant is one different person for each campsite. So obviously, Ranger Emily can only stay on one campsite, like you said. So what you can do is you can go into the Recreation.gov, go into your account. You can see all of your reservations that you have coming up, and you can go in them specifically. So like site specifically, you can go in there and change the primary occupant. Mm-hmm. There's a little toggle switch that you'd be able to just click your mouse on or you click on it, and then you can put in everything will go blank, and then that's when you'll put in who is going to be on that site. So really, you guys need to figure out who's going to be on what site before you get to the campground, because if not, you're going to be, it's going to be so confusing for us and so confusing for you.
Stuck at the dating house trying to figure out, okay, I'm on this campsite.
Yes, so-and-so is on this one.
All that kind of stuff. So best if you're coming in a group to camp that you realize and you have all that information sorted beforehand. Who's staying on what campsite, what vehicles are going on what campsite, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, making sure that when you do that and you put your new primary occupant on, it's going to ask, you don't have to necessarily change the email because obviously Ranger Emily already made the reservation. So you don't have to really change the email, but the information that really needs to be changed is the name and the address and a great phone number, because that's a great way for us to get in contact with you is a phone number. Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah. And if something does happen, we have a way to get in touch with you before, without having to track you down.
Yeah, exactly. Phone numbers are really important. Safety, making sure rules and regs are followed. I mean, it's really important for anything. And even if something comes up the day of your coming or something like that, you know, that we've got to do a little maintenance on the site, anything like that, that can possibly happen. So good that we have a proper phone number for folks to be able to reach.
Yes, not your home phone number if you're coming to camp. We need a cell phone number.
We need something. Yeah, that's right. Cell phone number that we can actually reach you at. So I feel like that was a good kind of chunk of tidbits for if you're coming to camp or you've reserved a picnic shelter. All of that stuff still applies. Is there anything kind of last, we could talk about R1S. We can talk about Recreation.gov for days. Oh, yeah. So maybe a future podcast. So is there anything that we want to tell everybody right now to kind of wrap up in terms of Recreation.gov?
I think just reiterating that, making sure you have a reservation before you come. Make sure that reservation holder, is then who is going to be going on that site. Yep. Make sure all your family and friends know what site they're going to before you get there. Printing out some information would be helpful too, or even having it on your phone. If you made the reservation online, you can pull it up on your phone. A reservation number is just real easy for us to locate your campsite if you don't necessarily know it off the top of your head. And then making sure that all the information in the Recreation.gov is correct and accurate. I mean, that's really, all of those things are really great and super helpful, not only for us, but for you. So we can get you through to your campsite and you can start having fun, recreating and enjoying your reservation and your stay.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on this week's, Ranger Minutes here for John H. Carr Dam and Reservoir.
Of course.
And thank you for listening. Have fun recreating.